Well, Matt, standards is in really quickly for Holly, because we know you got to go to WTAM, but you're tracking rain today.
Yeah, some scattered showers this morning. Guys, it'll be heavier this evening. That's when the cold front swings through. So 60s today, but after today, we're going back to 40s, which is where we should be this time of year. But yeah, the 60s is about to end.
I've gotten used to the 60s. So you all say hello to Matt Standridge. He is new here to Cleveland and to WKYC. We'll see you in a minute, Matt. And Matt is actually going to be with us both today and tomorrow on Go. So you have many opportunities to welcome him to the Go Morning Show. He's been here before. But again, thank you all for joining us right now. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. So remember, you can let us know your name and where you're watching from. Go ahead and put it in the comment section. And if you have any questions, put that in the comment section as well. Right now on Facebook, we do have what we call a social graphic. So you see that graphic with all of the text, and it said, when did you know everything had changed? So COVID-19, 1 year later, March 11th, 2020 was when the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. Many of you are saying when schools shut down. And so we definitely want to hear from you. And so on the 1 year anniversary, well, we are talking about the vaccines as well, because Ohio, we have opened up vaccine eligibility to more people. Actually, we're adding about 1.5 million more people to the eligibility list. So make sure you stay with WKYC.com. So I do want to run through that for you. So for those of you who have type 2 diabetes, end-stage renal disease, or Ohioans who are ages 50 and older, you are now eligible starting today to register for the COVID-19 vaccine. We have all of that information on WKYC.com as well. So, I was talking to a teacher, Dave, last week, who is in the process of getting his second vaccine shot. He's getting the 2 points, and he said when he was there and all of the teachers in his district kind of went together, and when they got their vaccine, he said he started to see just on people's faces just hope that this was coming to an end. So they were really excited about that.
Danielle, even on the show this morning, we had many stories with signs of hope, talking about things, instead of just being canceled or virtual, that they're postponed till later in the year. You have visuals of people starting to hug their kids again or grandkids. There's just, there's so many mornings where it's just doom and gloom.
Right.
And, there hasn't been a lot of positive, but, this morning, I feel like, we're starting to shift in that direction. You're kind of seeing things kind of like you go back to last year. And we talked about this the other day, kind of when the NBA shut down.
Right.
What really hit me today, we were talking about the St. Patrick's Day parade. And I remember sitting right at this desk. And I remember when I saw, and I think I even said it to you, when the Boston St. Patrick's Day parade got canceled. And then we started talking, hey, do you think it's going to happen here in Cleveland? Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And that's when really you started, when things were getting shut down and you knew that it was going to get serious. And then I started thinking, I've been in Studio B for a long time now. And I think I looked back on the calendar. It was Monday, March 23rd.
Wait, when you say Studio B, people are probably like, what is he talking about?
That's a good point. Yeah. So our main studio here is Studio A. So when you're watching the news and you see,
where Russ Mitchell sits. Russ Mitchell at the evening, where
Sarah,
we all sat last year, right there
where
at the big desk.
Right. That's Studio A, and you can see the newsroom in the background. Studio B is right next door. And we have sets in there where we host shows and do different things. But March 23rd was when I had my first show in there. So I'm coming up on 1 year, and it's amazing to think, that we have been away. You and Holly are in Studio A. It's separated, but Maureen and I are in Studio B. It's just unbelievable to think it's coming up on a year.
Yeah, it's amazing. And actually, Matt right now is giving you a tour of Studio A. So that is Studio A, what Dave is talking about. And Holly and I are broadcasting from there, as well as Matt. But we've been separated pretty much for a year now. And I see some of you chiming in, talking about like, when did you know this was like really real? And Roxanne, she says, when I took my kids to Florida, we never took our mask off till we were in the hotel room every night, or only eating, or only while eating. So it was just so surreal. And remember back then it was like, oh, this will be 2 weeks. You know, we'll be all back to normal in 2 weeks. And then it was, oh, everything will be back to normal in the summer when the warmer temperatures come. And so who would have thought that a year later, here we are. But like you said, there are signs of hope. And for some, you know, depending on the political leaning you are, where you sit with, there's signs of hope as well, with that third stimulus check, or the relief bill also passing. And so we know that that was passed, that $1.9 trillion bill was passed with no Republican support. However, what that means is that most Americans are going to start seeing some money in their bank accounts. And I do want to run that down for you as well, let you know who qualifies with the president, with that passing yesterday. The House, again, they got their versions together, and the president is expected to sign off on this bill on Friday. So you're like, okay, how much money am I getting, and am I getting money? So take a note, take a listen here. So here's who will get this money. So tax filers, so individuals who file their taxes making up to $75,000 a year, you will get that money, the $1,400, and then it will be couples who file jointly making up to $150,000 will get $2,800. So $75,000 per year. If you make up to that, you will get $1,400. If you are a couple and you file jointly, and you make up to $150,000, so not more than that, then you will get $2,800. There will also be $1,400 tacked on for each dependent in the household. So that is some money there for those. But the two versions of the House and the Senate bill, they did vary. And so here's, you know, where they finally kind of met in the agreement there. So the Senate version passed on March 2nd, so lowered something to $8,000 to $160,000, as depending on like when that money zeroes off. So basically you phase out to be complete. If the individual makes $100,000, it will be kind of phased out to zero, and $200,000 for couples, then you know you won't be getting any money. But the Senate version again passed it. It lowered it to $80,000 for an individual and $160,000 for a couple. And you're probably like, oh, I have some bills to pay. You know, if you fall in that income range, when can I see the money in my account? Well, if it is online with what we've seen with the previous stimulus checks, and they say that the money could be in your account by next week and through April. So if you have any questions about that, we have it all detailed on WKYC.com. And I know our amazing digital executive producer, Ryan Hated, will put that link in the comment section there for you. So a lot to remember this past year. Goodness. And this past year, we also lost a number of legends. And yesterday, we lost another one here in Northeast Ohio, Dave.
Boy, we did. This one's tough, Danielle. Joe Tate, the legendary broadcaster of the Cleveland Cavaliers, December 1970s. That's when he started. 39 years broadcasting Cavaliers games, 41-year career for Joe Tate. He stepped away in 2011 with health concerns, but anyone who's a Cavaliers fan, or even not a Cavs fan, and you're just a Cleveland sports fan, you knew who Joe Tate was. He called a game like nobody else. Just the way he would describe it, you felt like you were there, even though it was on the radio and you couldn't see it. He was your eyes, and his voice was incredible. His catchphrase is wham with the right hand, and the way that he and signed off every night, good night, have a good night, everybody. And you know, it's just, there's so many of them. I actually put on Twitter yesterday, you know, talking about the catchphrases, just that, you know, they keep running through my head. When I saw the news yesterday, I was so sad, and I was kind of prepared for it. Terry Pluto, the Plain Dealer, wrote an article about Joe that ran on Sunday, it was an incredible article. And they're lifelong friends, and it talked about how sick Joe was. I didn't realize it was going to happen this quickly, but when I saw the news yesterday, my whole day kind of just stopped, and I paused to think about him. And for me growing up, he was an idol and someone I looked up to. I'm one of the reasons I'm in this business is Joe Tate. There's others. I mean, Jim Donovan, of course, who I worked with so long in sports, but Joe Tate was a role model. He was amazing. He's going to be missed. And I mentioned this on the news, and I'll say it again. If there's a Mount Rushmore of Cleveland sports broadcasters, not just basketball, but all broadcasters, Joe Tate is on that Mount Rushmore of Cleveland sportscasters, broadcasters. No question about it. This is a tough one, a great person. And again, he will be missed.
What I love hearing, I guess it doesn't look good on the Cavs back in the day, but they said that Joe Tate was better than the Cavs. So we moved in for him because the Cavs were really not good.
Yeah, they had so many bad years, Danielle. And, you would tune in just to hear Joe Tate at times. He really felt like a family member. And, he just, the way he reacted to the refs too, he had great lines for the refs, and the way he did his commercials, the DiGiorno commercials were great. Everyone knows those. And, it's not pizza, it's DiGiorno. And you're right. He was an incredible, I mentioned that, like, he felt like a family member, and I just remember as a kid just tuning in and just the joy he would give me and so many people. And you really see that reaction on social media, don't you? I mean, you talked about it this morning, and just a beloved people in Cleveland. They love their play-by-play announcers, and especially when you have Nev Chandler, who passed away, Gib Shanley. Of course, Jim Donovan, currently the best in the business, Tom Hamilton with the Indians, and no doubt about it, Joe Tate. Oh man, I just can't believe it. I hope I did an okay job trying to get across my feelings, Danielle, but it's not easy, because it's just, I met him a few times. I didn't really know him personally, but I felt like I did just listening to him talk. I mean, it was, you just have those even TV shows or, things that you reach out to make your day better. Joe Tate made so many people's days better.
Yeah. And Dave, I can tell how much he meant to you, because when you talk about him, your face lights up and you have a big smile on your face.
Yeah.
And so please put your memories of Joe Tate in the comment section as well. Our condolences to his family, and his voice will always be etched with us. Well, we have to move on, and we will see you tomorrow morning on Go, and you'll actually see Dave, Matt, and Mo during the Today Show. Have a great Thursday, everybody.
Have a great day, everybody.
Take care.